All right. Yes, welcome. Hello, this is Ellen Nash, chair of the San Diego chapter of BAPAC, and we're happy to have you here with us today at our annual monthly membership meeting. And we have a different format today. I just kind of want to give everyone on the Zoom call heads up. We're going to actually, the introductions of each of you, which we always do, it's going to include anything that you want to say. We want to hear your voices. We want to hear announcements. We want to hear concerns, issues. We want to hear announcements by our candidates that are running for office. So whatever is on your heart today, during the introduction for 5 minutes or so, if you can, announcements, who you are, just going to be a round robin. We have some great people here today. And I just felt it was important that this is the month of July. We're 6 months out. And I think right now we need to put a quarter in the meter, as I say, and just stop and kind of hear all the issues and the concerns and announcements. Because number one, this is a public meeting. It's live stream. It's on Zoom. It's also on YouTube. So what a better platform for you to get your announcements out, your concerns out, your issues out than here at our general membership meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and open us up in a quick word of prayer, and then we'll move on. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to share with each other, and we celebrate each other today that we are alive and well and healthy, that you have blessed us in this space that we're in. We ask you, God, that whatever the assignment is, the announcements, the issues and concerns and solutions today, that you will be glorified. We also want to lift up the participants in the Pride Parade today and all the events. We lift them up to ensure that they're safety and they're well, and the celebration will become a success, and it will be done in your name that we pray. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I want to first, again, thank you all for being here. And I want to, again, let you know the format's going to be a little different. I'm going to make some announcements myself, and then I'm going to start calling out your names, and you can make your announcements, concerns, and issues, okay, for about 5 minutes each. We want to, hopefully we can get done at least by 1:30 or even earlier than that, because I know there's a lot going on today. Some of you are even hanging out with us and you're at the Pride Parade. You're marching as we're talking, and I appreciate your coming on. But that's the power of technology. You could be in 3 and 4 places at the same time and still get the word out. So I want to talk about some announcements that BAPAC is planning in the future. First of all, I would like to announce that over the course of the last 2.5 years, BAPAC San Diego has updated its entity status. And we've worked with an attorney, our attorney, Marissa, around reorganizing our entity, where we're now in compliance with the IRS, compliance with our mission and our vision. So we are now a separate 501c3, but it's a foundation, and that gives us the ability to accept grants and contracts much more effectively and appropriately within compliance. The name for the foundation is the Black American Policy Association of California, and we're in the midst of creating a new board in regards to that entity in both boards. And then we're also a C4, which also gives us the ability to move more into the political arena, including up to creation of PACs. We could do debates now. So it really pushes us to the next level in terms of our leveraging our organization from a political standpoint. And that's where the Black American Political Association of California remains. So again, just an update, C3, separate entity, which is our foundation side, and then the C4, which is our membership side. That is, that's where we have kind of upped our game in terms of leveraging our politics, and that's in compliance with our mission and vision and goals. So you will see us in this on the C4 side, even during our forums. You may see it, we're going to be pushing a little bit more harder on debates, also supporting different initiatives in a public way. So again, we are now much more in compliance with our mission and goals, and certainly the IRS and all the other compliance agencies that we have to address. So I wanted to share that announcement. We haven't been in person. BAPAC has not been in person, believe it or not, in almost 3 years because of COVID. We've been very intentional and conscious about kind of complying with COVID, particularly given the challenges that we were having in terms of the outcomes and boosters and shots in the African American community. We wanted to be very protective about the health of our members and our community members. And so we've done all of our convenings have been done via Zoom. In August, though, we want to do our first family-friendly in-person event. It's going to be a celebration. We're looking at either a sort of a beach setting or either a park setting. We want to be outside, but we want, and it's going to be free event. We're going to just celebrate on each other, and we're going to do it within the spirit of Dr. Willie Blair. And if you remember Dr. Willie Blair, he loved to celebrate and he loved to party. And so we want to do it within that spirit. I have Aaron Burgess is going to lead that up. Amika Glass Blake is going to be a part of the, and anyone else here, if you want to be a part of that planning committee, it's going to be in August. Right now, we don't have the date set because we want to get the permits that are required. But look forward to our first in-person event in 3 years, where we're going to celebrate each other. DJ, everything, bring your kids. We just want to love on each other. We've been through a whole lot of trauma, and we want to demonstrate within the spirit of Dr. Blair's celebration that we are self-caring for each other. This will be self-care, the establishment of a self-care event where we just love and celebrate each other. So more information is going to come. It will be in August. We may just we may go to the beach, and if it's and wear that bikini or that bathing suit or or whatever, but we just want to relax and just let our hair down, as they say, and have a great time. So I was excited about that. We're also planning our October conference with the election season underway. We're preparing a conference in October, the first part of October, where we will be going back to the theme of We Are the Margin of Victory. So the emphasis will be on voter registration, voter education, getting folks out to vote. We'll have candidates coming through. We'll have workshops on all the issues that we want to have addressed during our forums and on the ballot, from homelessness to gun violence to our poverty situation. Based on it will be a data-driven conference based on what the data is saying about the life and plight of Black folks in San Diego. And as we know, we only make up 4 or 5% of the population, but we are at the bottom in all of the different categories. And so we want to bring several of those topics into our workshops, but also as a part of our platform during that conference. I want to acknowledge our board members here. Abina is here. Elise Pipkin Allen serves as our vice chair. I see Sam Merle on the call here. We have a great board, and if it wasn't for this board, we wouldn't really be in existence. Have I missed anyone?
Gregory.
Oh, Greg Mitchell. Greg, you're here. Okay, Greg Mitchell, he was on the road. He's driving, so you better be safe, Greg. safe out there, is here as well. And we have Ray Osborne, who's not here, but he's also on our board. He serves as one of the vice presidents at Kaiser Hospital. He's been with us for several years. And then we have Janine Portis, who serves as our executive assistant. She's doing a great job with all of the different membership services. She's going to be doing a lot more in the remainder of the year and next year, and informing our members about the different programs and services that some of our sponsors provide. So we're excited about the board, and the board is very professional. We have a realtor from Abina, who's has her own mortgage company, to Greg Mitchell, who works for the state of San Diego. We just have a powerful board that bring and contribute a lot to the life of BAPAC, Black American Political Association of California. So we really want to thank them for having the patience to go on this journey for the last 2 years to really create the entity that complies with our mission and goals. We have a data initiative underway that's been funded by the San Diego Gas and Electric Company, and we'll be doing more going forward in the data area around, again, the life and status of African Americans in San Diego. So we won't be as emotionally driven as we were. We will be more data driven, and you will hear some of that data that will be addressed today in some of the areas that are actually of great importance to the Black community right now. We're going to go into our election season. So plan on forums will be coming. We may end up doing, because there's so many candidates running, we may end up doing 2 or 3 forums a month. Look out for all of our forums that will be underway. We'll with a big emphasis this year on voter registration, and particularly with young people. That's why we wanted to put on that celebration in August with the emphasis on young people, because we need to get our young people registered to vote. My understanding is if our young person is 16 and a half, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're 16 and a half, they can register, and actually when they're 17, they can actually vote. So we want to be much more intentional about focusing on registering young people, starting at 16 and a half, in order to get them set up and registered and educated to vote. Now I want to turn it over to all of you. I've covered most of my announcements, and so I want to turn it over to, a lot of people are still coming in, but I want to go ahead and turn it over to all of you. And I'm just going to call your names out based on who I see on the screen, if that's okay. So who I first see on the screen is Elizabeth Bustos. Elizabeth, could you give us about 5 minutes of a presentation with your announcements? Thank you.
Absolutely, Ellen, Ms. Nash, and congratulations on C3, strengthening C3, and certainly on the C4 status. Congratulations, and things don't happen by accident. And I know it's been a long time coming. Hello, everybody. My name is Elizabeth Bustos, and I am the Community Development Liaison for the County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency. I am based out of the Executive Office as a direct report to Director Nick Mascione. And I'll be very brief. And I do have a PowerPoint, but I'm just going to breeze right through it because everything that I'm going to be talking about is really is going to be posted on the website that I will post on the chat. And today we're all about the Southeastern San Diego Live Well Center and the public art tour that is currently underway. So let me just see if I can do this. I'm doing the share screen, and then I'm doing this. And you let me know. Can you see something there?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So I am going to turn this into the PowerPoint, and this is all about Southeastern Liberal Center Public Art and Community Input Tour. And okay, I thought I was going to toss this slide. This is me on better days. Uh, just saying hi to everybody again. And just as a reminder, this thing on the corner of Market and Euclid is happening. The Liberal Center is on schedule. Saw quite a few of you at the groundbreaking ceremony that took place in October of 2021, and we are on schedule for the grand opening summer 2023. So a year from today, literally a year from today. And then I don't know if you can see my cursor, but this photo that you see here, this was taken a couple of days ago, and it's starting to have a form. It's starting to have a form. And I think what I want to do is and so these palm trees that you see here, you let me know if you're following, are really the palm trees that are directly across the street from the Malcolm X Library. And that's to help everybody orient themselves. This right here, where you see this arrow, this is Market Street. And of course, coming up here is Euclid. Okay, and I think if you've been following, hopefully you've been following the narrative of Southeastern San Diego. There has been several groups of community residents and elders who have been involved in various committees to really, since the inception, and that was pre-COVID 3-4 years ago, who have been very much engaged in developing the vision and the services that are going to be, in the center. But where we are right now is really all about the another opportunity to engage residents, and this is all about the art, the public art tour that is currently underway. And I think I went too far. Okay, so the project does have a public art consultant, and that is Ms. Leah Goodwin from Leah Goodwin Creations, and I believe this is a name that is familiar to many of you. This is somebody who has been in our community for several years, very much engaged in the public art space. Okay, and she was selected as a result of a competitive process to help guide the public art elements of the health center. So what is she doing? This is what you see here. It's kind of like she does a lot more, okay, for us, but key elements of her role are to manage call for artist selection process, the contracting with artists, concept designs, the schedule of the art, and of course the installations. Her key partners involve the Southeastern Liberal Center Public Art Advisory Committee that you'll get to know in, I think, one more slide from now. Certainly the project manager, project architects, and of course myself. And again, partners, broad-based partners, but these are her key partners who provide guidance. She's also charged with implementing 2 public art community workshops. Okay, and this is all within the context of meeting the artists, familiarizing yourself with the process. And so the first one was literally just confirmed a couple of days ago, July 26th at Malcolm X Library. I think it's 6 to 8 or so. So that's an in-person opportunity to learn more, do a deeper dive on the artists, meet the artists, and have your voice represented. And then on July 28th is a virtual. We're also doing a virtual. I think same time, 6 to 8. And again, the actual confirmed times are on the website. But, let's see here. Okay, so like everything else in the Southeastern Liberal Center, there is a community-based advisory committee to help shape the vision of different aspects for the art advisory. You see here who is represented. So we've got local residents, we've got members of the art community, Asian Pacific Islander communities, we've got youth voice represented by Alan Gonzalez from the Jackie Robinson Y, and Serenity Porter, who is a student at O'Farrell Charter School. So you kind of get an idea, of whom we've been engaged with for the last going on 9 months. And the very first thing that we asked this advisory committee to engaged in is to develop an art statement for Southeastern Liberal Center for the public art element. They were also charged with reviewing the artist submissions, once the cultural artist got underway and local artists responded with their portfolios. So they were very much involved in the selection process based on some criteria that's coming up here. The other, what we asked them to do is please help us build a network of community outreach opportunities, which of course this is one of them where I'm at this afternoon. And then once the community input information has been attained, to help make final recommendations. Just really quickly, because this really matters. This is their art statement. And I think with your permission, Ellen, it's worth calling out loud. The art at the Southeastern Liberal Center represents and celebrates the history, diversity, and cross-cultural experiences of the community while educating, creating beauty, inspiration, and healing. And then with the goal of the art program being to emphasize the liberal San Diego vision of healthy, safe, and thriving region, in a thriving region, I should say, by celebrating the beauty, history, heritage, and our diverse communities. When the call to artists was sent out a couple of months ago during the spring, this is a lot more detail, but these are highlights of what the selection criteria was, and what was looked at as quality and creativity. And you see it here. Does the artist show proof of creating unique and inspirational work? Does the work of the artist tell a story or provide inspiration and beauty? Will the artist style and media work well within the building spaces of the actual plant of the building, the Liberal Center? And also, of course, very, very important, no less important, was the celebration of history, diversity, and roots in the community. And these are some hard questions that were asked. That the artists come from a cultural background that is represented in the community? Has the artist worked in or lived in or is near our community? And also, does the artist show a cultural sensitivity in the artwork? So this is where we are at right now. The art submissions, artists submitted their submissions. Okay, several of them were asked, qualified to move forward. Okay, with being vetted by essentially you and the community of Southeastern San Diego. And how we are getting the word out, okay, of these opportunities are through tabling events. Okay, and you see here, kind of like the core of how we're doing this. There's a public art survey form. Okay, there's presentation, Flipboard, or iPads. So anywhere we are, if you are at an event and we are at an event, there's an opportunity for you to do a paper survey, do a deeper dive here in a second or so. Or we also have an iPad. Okay, where forget the paper survey, we'll just call up the artists and the selections, and you'll be able to see them. There's also a public art fact sheet, a public art flyer, and of course, for anybody who is there live and prefers to do something like, paper, there's also going to be a ballot box. All of this information has been translated in the 8 threshold languages that the county has adopted. So be on the lookout for that. So how do you do this? What are the mechanics? Okay, and I just mentioned that public art survey form, how to fill out. You can do a paper survey, or there will be a link to a Google form that whether you're visiting the website or we have an iPad for you. Okay, and basically what you'll be looking at. Forgive me. I have a very sensitive mouse. So basically what you'll be looking at is, and I know I'm going kind of quick here, is there's going to be a profile. Like what I'm showing here is Miss Manolita Brown, maybe known to some of you, okay, and her medium is sculpture. Okay, so you'll see her narrative, how she describes herself and her approach to art, and then you'll kind of begin to see, what she has in mind for the Liberal Center. And then next to her is another opportunity to weigh in on Ms. Jean Cornwell Wheat, who has, and this is you'll be able to see close up, what her vision is for what could be, greeting all of us, all of the community, everybody who enters the Live Well Center in terms of a landmark statue or sculpture. Okay. Okay, so how to view the presentation. This is kind of repetitive, forgive me for that. There's a flip book, there's an iPad, and there's also the Art Consultant webpage. Okay, we also have it through a QR code. You can also go to the link in the HHSA. And Ellen and family, please forgive me. I'm not one of those that can multitask. So the minute I get off my presentation here, I will put in the link, to how you can electronically take a view and let us know how you feel about it. There's a clear instructions page. We know that not everybody's into the QR code. I am one of those individuals that haven't figured that out yet. So we wanted to make this opportunity as accessible as possible. Paper, QR, however you feel comfortable. And again, you'll be looking at 8 artists, the concept designs for each. There's an opportunity to do main entry sculpture. You see there the garden, the corridors, and the stairwell. And that just, and this is where we are. Just going through it. Some of these names are going to be familiar to you. For the main lobby, as an example, this is somebody who's very much entrenched in our community culture, and is really our community treasure. Max Moses is in the mix. There's also, Master Victor Ochoa, who's also been asked to submit his vision for, what could possibly happen in the Live Well Center. And this is essentially what you'll be seeing. And basically that is it. How am I doing, Ellen?
You're doing great. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Can you make just a couple of comments while you're here on the booster and the status of COVID?
Yes.
Particularly that last booster.
Thank you. I think everybody here knows that, my hat is not really architecture. Okay. It's really public health, and community engagement. And of course, this is all about what's happening with COVID-19, that yes, it's true. There is a new variant, okay, that has hit our community, really hit the United States. Okay, and every day we seem to be learning something new. One of the things that we've learned, okay, early on about this new variant is that we must be vigilant, okay? And please, anybody and everybody who is eligible to get vaccinated, okay, please do. If you're eligible to get boosted, now is the time. Look, I'm in public health. I'm tired of COVID. I'm worn out. Just last week, I've been eligible for 2 decades because I've been over 50 for quite some time. And I finally broke down and got my booster. So I get it. I understand. Okay. But this is an opportunity to, to just do it. Continue your call to action. Now, here's the thing. One of the, everybody, okay, so, I got a vaccine and I still got COVID. So there. Okay. Well, that's very real. I mean, hey, that would be me, okay? I was current on everything and I still got COVID. What saved my life, okay, and the reason I wasn't hospitalized, okay, as the tracking and trending shows, is that I was vaccinated, okay? And even though COVID is COVID and you still need to follow all the protocols of isolation, certainly check in with your doctor and all of that stuff, okay? COVID will, with no absolutes, okay, hopefully will not be as intensive and as harm causing, okay, as though you were not either current up until your booster, okay, or even vaccinated at all. And I still come across, a whole bunch of folks that are not vaccinated yet for any number of reasons.
Right.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to put 2 things: a link to the COVID website. Find the space, get the latest and the latest reality checks. I caught myself saying the greatest, but that's not really the greatest. It's just the reality check. And also the art. And of course, through you, Ellen, everybody knows where to find me. And please weigh in on all of this information, and always available for questions. Thank you. Blessings, everybody.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. Anyone have a quick question for Elizabeth? Okay.
I do. I had my hand up.
Donna. Oh, yes, I do see your hand up, Donna. And then you can ask your question and then go into your announcements as well.
Okay, great. Just real quickly, Elizabeth, will the building have a community room for access to community organizations? Because there is a dire need, especially with nonprofit organizations and community organizations, to have space. So
Yeah.
is there going to be?
Oh, absolutely. There is dedicated space on the first floor, okay, of the building that is going to be dedicated for community meeting rooms with state-of-the-art technology.
Great.
We won't have to wrestle, with Wi-Fi and all of that. But there's also going to be now I'm not the owner of this, but I for sure there's going to be opportunities for community-based organizations to, and I know this is kind of a funky term, to hotel there and host office hours. Because
Nice.
many community agencies, just don't have a permanent home for any number of reasons. So yes, absolutely. And that is a priority. And we heard the County of San Diego heard loudly that in that space is actually going to be beautiful. And we'll also have this public art integrated into it. So, okay.
And then the other question that I wanted, and a comment that I wanted to make to everyone is, please don't forget about the National Panhellenic Association. We represent the 9 Greek letter fraternities and sororities in San Diego County. Our oldest affiliate has been here since 1938. We have over 1,000 members and we impact hundreds of thousands of people every year with our services. So if you're looking for someone to sit on your board, we'd be willing to entertain that. And it'd be great input because we're coming from perspective of at least 100 members.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you, Donna. I'm going to go with Abina. Can you introduce yourself and share your services?
Well, it's sure good to see everyone. How are you doing? I'm just happy here to let you guys know I started my mortgage and real estate company last year. And I had a big launching of my website 2 days ago. I was nervous. I'll put the web address in the chat box. But the company is Bradford Mortgage and Realty, is the parent company. And I do business residentially as Rapid Response Mortgage and Rapid Response Realty. And of course, I have access and I make sure I provide funding for first-time home buyers, especially. I always try to, make sure I have programs to accommodate them. Those are not the only programs I have, but a lot of times they are the forgotten ones. And I have some very progressive, I'm sorry, guys. I have some very progressive programs. Financing, although real estate mortgage rates appear to have gone up, they're really leveling at about normal now. We've been rather spoiled with the low rates because of all of the economic indicators and all of the downsides and downgrades that we've been going through. So the one thing you have to know is real estate transactions are going to always take place. And right now we are teetering at what rates normally were. When I got in the game, I won't say how many years ago, the normal interest rate was 12 and 13%. So we never thought we'd see 3%. And we used to make jokes about it then until we managed to get those rates. I also do, there's some very progressive programs financing fix and flips. If you want to get into the real estate game and you want to buy a property, fix it and flip it, it's a very progressive programs going now simply because of the lack of inventory that we have. And I also want you to know that the San Diego Housing Commission is also assisting in funding accessory dwelling units on your properties that you already own. If you want to build an ADU, I can help you through that process as well. And it's wonderful that San Diego Housing Commission has also increased how much they will help you to purchase a home. They'll give you 22% if you can come up with 3%. So you're talking about 25% down. And that's just a little snapshot of some of the aggressive financing programs that are out there. And if you are looking at purchasing investment properties in other states, I can do those as well. And I am doing some commercial stuff. And of course, listing and selling real estate. And if you're interested in even becoming an agent, give me a call and let's talk about it and see if it's a match for my company and for your goals and objectives. And I just want to say, in building communities, selling real estate, building real estate communities, that was all a part of the total economic development plan. There are so many things hinging on building communities, and it always starts with ownership, improving education, improving businesses, and it just improving relationships all the way around. So I will put my web address. I'm so excited about it and nervous too, since it just launched, into the chat, and I urge you to visit it. Call me if you have questions. No questions are dumb questions. And be mindful, guys, that we're coming up on a very serious election that's going to have dire consequences in economic development and just our surviving and our advancing. So touch your organizations, touch your people, and let them know how important it is that they not only register, but put together some active campaigns to get people out to the polls to vote, because voting is where it counts. And although they're trying to make voting difficult for us, we as a community have always overcome those. So let us make sure that we do our due diligence and do that as well. And thank you. I look forward to you visiting my site and calling me and referring me so that I can be of assistance to you. Thank you,
Ellen?
guys.
Thank you, Abina. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Great.
Ellen,
Yes.
I had two more comments that I wanted to make. Is that okay, or should I wait for someone else?
If you could go, if they could be real quick, because I wanted Elise, our vice chair, Elise Pipkin Allen, to go next, and then CK.
Okay, that's
and
fine.
Then, oh, yeah,
You can
CK.
come back to me.
Okay, CK, and then Cody Peterson, if you can go in that order.
Okay.
Thank you. Elise? There she is.
Yeah.
Elise?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. Yes, we can now.
Carl. Hi, Carl. How are you? Good. So you're here.
We can hear. Some, if you can mute, if you're speaking, if you're not speaking, please mute. Thank you.
Okay.
Abina, Elizabeth Bustos, you guys need to mute.
So can I give you some information? And then, yeah, I gotta go early. My kid was playing. This is, okay, let me give you some information.
Angie?
Real quick, Carl.
Angie? Angie, hello. If you're not speaking, please mute. So, Elise, are you?
Yeah,
are you okay? All right, Elise, it's your turn.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm really happy to be here today. My name is Elise Pipkin Allen, and I am the proud vice chair and a life member of BAPAC. I would encourage everyone listening to look into becoming a lifetime member of BAPAC. We have been doing so many great things the last couple of years, which Ellen has explained to you, and it's just been like a roller coaster ride. So we're excited about everything that's going on here. I'm a longtime resident of San Diego, always lived in Southeast. Currently, my major projects, things that I'm interested in, are Black senior women who are homeless, going to the hospital, getting released from the hospital, and ending up back on the street again. That's one of my main concerns, and I'm working with Ellen and a couple of other people trying to ensure that we can provide a safe space for Black senior homeless women once they return from the hospital or from any health or mental problems that they're having. I'm also a member of a philanthropic group called Women Give. San Diego, and I've been able to get a couple of our Black organizations funded through that program. I recently founded a Democratic Club, which is it's not a nonprofit, it's totally different from BAPAC. And it's called the Black and African Women Rise Democratic Club. We are certified by the Democratic Party, and we can actually endorse people. So if you know of anyone who's running for office who happens to be an African American or an African, please let us know so that we can have a chance to look for them and perhaps get the party to endorse them. I am really encouraging people, as Elizabeth Gustav said, to get your shot and your boosters. I've known several people personally who received COVID, even though they had been boosted, and who did not end up in the hospital. So that's really important for us. Thank you.
Okay. Elise, I think we lost Elise.
Oh,
there she is.
Oh, no, I just said who was next.
Oh, okay, CK.
Yeah.
CK, then Cody.
Wow. All right, cool. Hi, Miss Ellen. Hi, Miss Elise. Hello, everybody. Woo! Glad to be here on this BAPAC call. It's been a minute, so I'm just so glad to be here. My name is CK. I'm a lifetime BAPAC member. I'm the vice chair of APAC, also the Asian Pacific American Coalition. And we've been super busy doing a whole bunch of awesome projects. I can't believe it. End of this month will be 1 year of the grand opening of the Bay Terrace Senior Center. And definitely BAPAC played a huge role in supporting the advocacy that I did through Rise San Diego. And so if you all haven't been down to the Bay Terrace Community and Senior Center, please make sure to go down there and visit the seniors out there doing line dancing Monday through Friday in the morning till about noon. You will be doing the wobble, the electric slide, the Cupid shuffle, and all the greats with all the aunties and uncles out there, and it's just awesome. Just really briefly, I want to take this time to introduce someone very special to me. Her name is Dita Siamani, and she is running for city council in National City. And we recently did advocacy to support National City moving from at-large voting into district voting. And that was a huge advocacy that we did. And BAPAC, again, thank you so much for supporting that. Ms. Ellen, thank you for your letter of support. And without further ado, I'm going to pass this on to Dita Siamani. Woo! Let's go. Dita, it's all yours.
Ditas, you're on mute.
If you like, Miss Ellen, until she joins us, I could share a little bit more about just how we broke up into the different districts. And Titas will be the first Filipina to run in the newly created Filipino Asian district, empowerment district in National City. So remember, prior to the vote in December 21st of last year, National City was doing all citywide elections. And so we put the pressure on National City, and they voted unanimously December 21st to move from at-large voting to district voting. And this is really historic for National City and for the community. And we were able to draw a map for the first time in National City for districting. It wasn't even redistricting because, again, districting had never taken place prior to the advocacy. So not sure if Ditas is able to join us. Maybe she's having some technical difficulties. But just again, Ditas Yamani is running for city council in National City.
Great. Hi, Ditas. I see you here. Can you give us
Hi.
a couple of minutes to let us know who you are?
Thank you.
Ditas?
You're on mute, Ditas.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. And introduce yourself and what seat you're running for.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for your support to APAC's advocacy on districting in National City.
Mm-hmm.
Because of your support, we were able to get the advocacy into an ordinance that has been approved or approved for implementation for this election year. So my name is Ditas Yamani. I am running for District 3 in National City. It is called the Empowerment District because this is, just like what CK said, historical in our city of National City. I have been in National City for over 30 years, been involved in the community. Most of you knows me. Serving our community. I sit as a chairperson of the Planning Commission and Housing Commission for the City of National City, as well as I sit in the Advisory Council for the Sweetwater Authority and a assessment appeals for the County of San Diego. I've been serving our community for a long time in our community and never disappeared, always serving in our community and other members of other communities as well. So thank you, Ms. Ellen, for your support to this advocacy. This is going to be a change of representation at the dais of the City of National City, and hope and pray that our advocacy will go through 100% after this general elections, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Congratulations, Ditas.
Thank you, Ms. Ellen. Thank you, BAPAC, for your help.
Yeah. So we'll go to Cody Peterson, and then from Cody Peterson, it will be Dr. Fishman. And then from there to Gregory, our own board member, Gregory Mitchell.
Well, thank you. It's really nice to see all of you. Kind of chokes me up not seeing Dr. Blair here. That's a change from before the pandemic, but it's good to see all of you. I see a lot of really familiar faces. Regina, I'm glad Malia's in this thing. Let's figure out how to get her through. My name is Cody Pedersen. I am running for San Diego Unified School Board Subdistrict C. I am a lifelong resident in the subdistrict in San Diego. I was brought home from University Hospital, 46 years ago, 1975, to UCSD Mesa Grad Student Apartments. I grew up a block from La Jolla Elementary, went to Maryland's La Jolla High. Then I went did my undergraduate at UC Berkeley and came back for a PhD at UCSD in anthropology. And so I spent years doing socioeconomic impact studies. I did my dissertation work in Peru, in Highland, Peru, on education and land reform and ethnic politics. It's a very interesting communities in which I worked, indigenous communities. And I've been doing ed policy and electoral politics for the last 5 or 6 years now. I come out of pretty progressive circles. I've worked with many of you on a lot of issues, including criminal justice reform and electoral politics more broadly. We've supported a lot of Black candidates, some successfully, some not so successfully. I served with many of you trying to get Monica Montgomery chosen for president. That didn't work out, but we had a certain amount of satisfaction in the end. I am running in large part because I believe in San Diego Unified. I believe in public education more broadly. And I'm happy to talk to this group in particular. Many of you and I have spoken about education issues and public education issues at length in the past. And I think San Diego Unified has a lot of work to do. It's clear when we look at the achievement gaps in general, that our Black students have really been not getting the kinds of attention and services they need. And I know we've been working on that for many years at San Diego Unified, but there's a lot that needs to be done. And we saw, and Shana will probably speak to this as well, we saw one of the primary impacts of the pandemic was in fact to exacerbate existing achievement gaps. You see in sort of more affluent communities, you saw maybe a 1 month lag, whereas in a lot of Black and Brown communities, English language learner communities, you saw 3 or 4 months of lag. And so we've got some programs at San Diego Unified, like the summer learning program. I woke up at 5 and got a 6 and 8 year old out of the house to go on KUSI this morning to talk about the summer learning program, and really part of the path back, both in terms of closing the achievement gaps and closing the sort of COVID lag, is really enriching high dosage tutoring, really one-on-one or small group, multiple times a week, tied into curriculum in the classroom. Same goes for summer programs. We find whatever it is, whether it's after school or summer, if there's not that tutoring component where students are getting high quality attention put in that's responsive to their specific challenges around learning, it's not going to be effective. So that's one of the things I'm excited about. A lot of you have been probably paying attention to a universal transitional kindergarten. We have a child care crisis in this country. I'm sure a lot of people on this call are struggling with it, or have children whose children are struggling with it. We have to get UTK right. It's part of the continuum of child care, and it needs to be play-based. It is distinct from first through 12th. We need to really make sure that the curriculum is appropriate. We need to hire in California probably around 11,000 new transitional kindergarten teachers with 22,000 aides. I mean, it is a massive undertaking. And it's really about addressing, setting aside the benefits in terms for working families, in terms of getting that care that allows them to more effectively work and earn for their families. It is also addressing learning when student brains are at their their highest plasticity. They're just so hungry for learning. We cannot let those years go by without the necessary enrichment. So I'm really excited about UTK. We're still wrestling with the pandemic, honestly. I was on KUSI getting grilled about the mask policy. Our county is currently, and some of the county officials can speak to this. I, in my day job, work at the county. I'm a senior advisor. And we're seeing a resurgence of COVID. We're in the orange category again, which based on San Diego Unified's existing policy shifts us back to masking. Now, that's not our full student body. That's only the students that are participating in the summer learning program, but it's a lot of students this year. And so, as Ms. Bustos mentioned, we're all a little tired of this pandemic, but this is a real resurgence. The numbers are very alarming. And particularly in our Black and Brown communities south of the A, we're seeing some concerningly relatively low numbers in terms of vaccination rates. And in fact, this is one of the reasons why we sort of pull back, and the teachers unions pull back from the vaccine mandate. It's obviously held up in the courts, but it's probably a good idea to have a pause on it, because to impose a vaccine mandate right now would have a lot of equity consequences, since there is that differential in terms of vaccine rates, and it would put a lot of Black and Brown students into virtual learning, whereas their Asian, white, more affluent counterparts would be able to do classroom, which is not the outcome we want out of from our COVID policy. So take it seriously. I'll obviously be sending my kids to summer learning on Monday with masks, and to me, And this is what I said on KUSI. It's a small price to pay to keep not only our kids safe. This is having relatively modest impacts on our kids, but particularly in our community south of the 8, you've got multi-generational families. You've got families that are working in service industries that are public facing, and we really cannot afford to expose not just the kids but those families as well to this virus. So I would just say more broadly, I am deeply committed to equity. I happen to be, I don't talk much about my opponent, although she's a very nice woman. We have very distinct ideological positions and values. She's spoken publicly against the equity agenda. I have been committed to equity. I've been committed to, we just had a great, the AKAs, the Divine Nine and the Ebony Pearls had a great reception for Lamont Jackson. We have a proud, strong Black superintendent. I'm very excited about Lamont. He's surrounded by a community. I think it's a great moment for the African-American community. And it's a moment for Sandy Unified to really make good on its promise that we've been working toward for a long time. Ever since I was a child in Sandy Unified, we've had challenges around Lincoln and Crawford. And I think whoever wins in myself and whoever wins in the neighboring district, we're going to be committed to addressing that and to making sure, frankly, that the district is providing the kinds of deep A through G courses in neighborhood schools. So young people and their parents don't feel like they have to defect from the public school system or head over to private schools or to charters or to just live in these schools and be unsatisfied with the outcome or to have to choice into other schools. We want those programs to be in neighborhood schools. So I'm committed to that. And I know my counterparts in the other sub-district will be as well. So that's all. Sorry to go on at length a little bit. I'm happy to be here. I'm hopeful to be working with all of you, not only in this election, but moving forward at the district.
Thank you, Cody. Congratulations. Dr. Fishman? There he is. Can't hear you.
Let me try that. Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Thank you. Darwin Fishman, he, him, his, Racial Justice Coalition of San Diego and North County Equity and Justice Coalition. And thank you, Ellen, for inviting me and your remarks. Just coming back from Pride and the Racial Justice Coalition, we were really pleased that we were able to march with the Latinx Coalition. So it's a nice Black and brown gathering. I did want to share before I started, I did want to say that acknowledged that the service for Tambuzi is this weekend and the live service tomorrow, live stream I will be a part of. And so I was just, my thoughts and prayers with him and his family. And then the other thing I wanted to say, something going after my brother Cody, is besides the issues, I just wanted to also add, because I really appreciate, I'm really glad that Cody's running, and we need friends from our community and also allies running. I just want to say that for me, the really key moment real quickly, just for Cody, was the environmental coalition. We were doing work and we had some tense moments, and there were some incidents with Sonia and Buki where feeling like Black women were under attack. And Cody went to their defense. He was not prompted, and he really did it in a very sincere way and really helped us to work through the situation. And that to me is that next level for white allyship that I really appreciate. So I'm glad someone like Cody is running for office. And also, he just shared with you his extensive knowledge of education, what needs to be done, and especially the partnering of districts. It's not just for our district, but others helping us in doing that work. So I did want to say that started. I did have two quick things to share in terms for the Racial Justice Coalition. One is that we're doing an event on August 11th at 12 noon at the federal courthouse. And we'll have a flyer, and Ellen, I'll send it to you. You could share with BAPAC members. We really appreciate it. And this action is really going to be key. It's a class action lawsuit. It's a law firm from out of San Francisco that's leading the charge on this. And it's not just for the in custody deaths, but it's for the conditions in jails overall. We've got a real, and this connects now to the election, we've got a real possibility that unfortunately with the sheriff's department and the two candidates running, that nothing will change. Martinez really is Gore's handpicked successor. And the other person's, let's just say, further to the right. This class action lawsuit might be our best shot at really dealing with the in custody deaths. And for folks who are not following this, we just had the 12th in custody death of the year, and we're on par to break a record of over 18. Before, we were already leading the California with one death a month. We're about to double that. And they did the actual number crunching. It was something like, if we were LA in terms of on par with the population, it'd be equivalent of having like 500 people die a year. It's an extraordinary amount of people that are still dying in custody in San Diego jails. And it really is directly with the sheriff's department. And then also the district attorney, still at this point, if you look at like the 15-year history with the state auditor's report they looked at, and over 100 deaths, during that time period, the only person that's been prosecuted for any of those deaths has been one nurse. Only a nurse has been prosecuted for any of these in custody deaths, which begs the question, of course, is, and it's quite often reported in the press, is that they're all natural deaths. And then the latest one we just had, the 12th one, it was a 20-year-old woman, Las Colinas. So we're still working on this, primary through our SLICK campaign, Saving Lives in Custody. And we're also trying to find different avenues, whether it's through electing politicians, direct actions we do each month, and then also now partnering in terms of lawsuits. ACLU is also the local organization on the ground. The August 11th, Bardis, lawyer for ACLU, we're working with them, and we're taking turns. So this will be really led by them, the August 11th action and this coalition we're doing. And, also BAPAC, you're welcome to come on board at any point with joining us with this. As well as also, I know you got the multiple hats, Ellen, with HRC, because this really is a national issue where San Diego sticks out for these in custody deaths. With that, the other thing I just want to briefly share with everyone is one of the ways we've been trying to deal with this has been through CLRB. And CLRB, the Civilian Law Enforcement Review Board for the County of San Diego that looks at all complaints. In theory, it's supposed to also hold them sheriff's department accountable for things like in custody deaths. It hasn't done that. So Buki Domingos, one of the co-founders of the Racial Justice Coalition, she was on there. Her term was not renewed, and she just finished out an 8-month term. So we are still trying to look for a reason why her term was not renewed, why she did not get a regular 3-year term, and why she was only on there for 8 months. What we do know is that Buki is a nurse. She's the only medical professional. She's the only person while she was on there that was actually asking technical questions about people's the in custody deaths, because she's the only one that has that knowledge. We do know that she has 4 boys live in the community. We do know that she's the only Black woman that was on there. So CLRB is really a serious issue, serious problem. Buki's also led the charge with CLRB organizing the first community town hall, 2 of them that they had. One of them was based on the state auditor's report. So all that work that she's done and all the skill set that she offered is gone now from CLRB. So we are still working to try to see what we can do in terms of if there's openings on CLRB, whether or not Buki can get in that way. And also to really highlight, this is a pattern, of course, and that's why I wanted to mention this for BAPAC, because this is something, again, Ellen, we're more than willing to partner with you on this and other organizations. One of the things we've found in going through this with Buki is, of course, we talked to Genevieve, and Genevieve said almost the identical story about her being removed from the Gang Commission and her term not being renewed. And Genevieve was the one that led the charge in the injunctions in ending that. And then, of course, the district attorney took credit for that. So again, we have a real serious issue because, as you know, I'm a huge advocate of boards and commissions. and encouraging people to get on there. But we can't do that in all sincerity if we get folks on there and then they're removed after a few months. That doesn't make any sense. And especially if they're not offering any explanation and then blaming each other for, that they're not responsible for what took place. So I did want to share that. There was a really good UT article, and I'll send it to you, Ellen, about Buki that was done by Jeff McDonald and Kelly Davis. And again, you can tell that everyone's just sort of duck and covering. They're not really offering an explanation of why her term, like everyone else's term, was renewed, why hers wasn't. So those were some of the issues that we're working on. And thank you again for this time.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Fisherman. Great. Our next is our one of my board members, BAPAC board members, Greg Mitchell, and he's going to introduce a family that he brought to my attention. I don't usually do things like this, but this was a compelling case. And Greg, can you introduce the issue and also introduce the family that needs our help? Thank you, Greg, for bringing that issue to our attention.
Yes, my name is Minister Greg Mitchell. I work for the state of California. I'm a lifetime BAPAC member, and I'm a member of the board as the membership chair. I was supposed to be traveling today, and the trip was canceled due to illness of one of the brothers that was in Palm Springs, so we canceled the meeting. So I'm glad to be here with you all. I do see that Reverend Jenkins is on the Zoom call. So I just would like to mention to you all that they had a fire last Friday, not yesterday, but last Friday, and pretty much they lost everything. And so now right now they're staying in a hotel and they're trying to recoup. We're trying to do things for them until they can find a place to actually stay permanently. So if they're on the phone right now, I would like them to come on the phone and just kind of tell us about what they're going through and what are some of their needs. And then also, I want everybody to understand this. We all woke up this morning in our normal environment, peace and happiness and harmony in our homes, and everything was intact. Well, they didn't wake up with the same since last Friday. They woke up in total disarray because of the fire. So I would like for Mr. Elder Jenkins to come on the line and for him to kind of tell us how he's been impacted. And also one thing about Elder Jenkins, he can be going through something, but again, one thing he will also do is he would also pray for other people, regardless of what his situation is. So Elder Jenkins, I do see that you're using your wife's phone, and you can go ahead and start letting us know what's going on. Elder Jenkins, if he's still here.
Yes, good morning. My name is Pamela Jenkins. Do I press the video part?
Yeah,
Yes.
hit video so we can see you.
And we can see you, yes.
I'm kind of new to this, so I apologize.
Let's have Hazel Marie help you.
She's not with us at the moment. I'm here with my.
Okay.
Okay, we can see you, we can hear you. Please share your story.
If you're driving, pull over, please.
Oh, my husband's driving and he is getting ready to pull over.
Just getting gas.
We were just getting some gas.
Okay.
Do you want me to start or you want to?
Yeah, go ahead and start.
Okay. On Friday, we lost our home. Basically, the fire took out the kitchen, living room, and bathroom, pretty much everything. The bedrooms are still standing, but it's heavy water damage and soot. So everything is pretty much destroyed. It also took out my family van, our family van. The fires went from the house to the driveway where the van was parked. My two daughters were inside, and I'm hailing my youngest daughter a hero because when she went to take her plate back to the kitchen, she smelled some smoke, and then she heard a shh like that, and the fire was already at the top, kind of like. So she ran to wake up her sister, and they both were got out, but then they tried to see if they can put it out, but it wasn't going like that. So they had to run out. And then the fire department came and the rest is history. So basically right now we're in a Motel 6 where, you know, the fees because of the Comic-Con and the Pride conventions, they're doing raising high prices and things like that. So it's pretty much kind of wiping us out with the funds and things like that. Where we do have Section 8, we're trying very hard to look for a place right now. And then here is my husband. He's pulled over so you can see who he is.
Thank you very much to all of you for your support, your love, and your concern. And we thank God for you. Thank God for Minister Mitchell, who's been right there since just about day one, supporting us.
Can we talk about, let me just chime in because we are on a time limitation, but there's a great need here. And the reason why I took on this family when Greg brought it to my attention, number one, they have a 22-year-old daughter. First of all, the fire took out everything. They ran out with the clothes on their back. That's it. Everything is gone. They have a 22-year-old daughter, senior, getting ready to graduate from Jackson University in Mississippi.
Jackson State.
Jackson State in December. We need to get her back to school to graduate in December. She is a member of a sorority. I'm glad Donna's back on, has returned. She is a member of a sorority. I can't remember, what's the name of the sorority, Pamela?
Tau Beta Sigma, I think it's a band sorority.
Okay, she's a member of a sorority. We need to raise the money to get her back to school. She lost her device, her laptop.
Yes, her laptop and her Chromebook. She had two.
Okay, her laptop, her Chromebook, and her and also she needs an airplane ticket to get back to Jack, and she needs clothes. You all are parents, and you know what it takes to get your child back to college. So that's a priority. And right now to get their daughter back to Jackson University to graduate in December of this year. That's the first thing. And then they have a second daughter who is at Helix Charter School. Again, lost everything that needs to get back into school. Now, Helix Charter School has a wellness center, and fortunately my daughter works there, and she's already contacted the principal, and so they will also help take care of her as well. And of course, then we have the parents who are looking for housing, and they have a Section 8 voucher. So some of you, like Abina, some of you on the call, you may know of folks that might take Section 8. They're on their own. They have the Section 8 voucher, but they have to find their own housing. So if you know anyone, if you have apartment owners, property owners that have vacancies, if you're into the affordable housing area, please let the family know or let me know that you may know of some vacancies. We have Elizabeth Bustos on the line, who is from the county of San Diego. They have reached out, Elizabeth, to 211, I believe, who has provided some help for them. But obviously, they are homeless. You don't have a shelter, you don't have a roof over your head, you are considered homeless. And shelter as well. So if you could, I don't know how to do this. Pam, can you put your information in the chat, or you guys just want to reach out to me? I'll set up a Cash App. I think they have a Cash App. We'll set up a Cash App. And if you want to give a few dollars, or if you know some places where they can, that will give them a laptop, or if you want to purchase the laptop, the priority right now is on that college student that is slated to graduate this December. So we want to get her back there as well. I just saw where a text message from Regina have you reached out to the Red Cross?
The Red Cross initially put us up. They gave us some funds to put on a hotel, and those funds, it was 515. Those funds were already been depleted because we've been there more than 5 days.
Okay. So anyway, I wanted you all to be aware of this on the call. If you have resources, reach out to me. Everybody knows me on the call, and I will direct the Jenkins family to the resources. We'll set up a Cash App if you would like to just donate some money to them. It will be appreciated. Again, I don't usually do this, but Greg is a board member. I know Greg's heart. He always gives. He's always helping people. They do their Christmas drives. He's giving out of his pocket, in order to help them stay in those hotels. So if we can all step up and help them anyway, it'd be really, really appreciated. I see in the chat housing assistance. Yes, so we'll help out as well.
Okay. I do have a Cash App. Did you want to set up a separate one? But I do have one, and my husband has one as well.
Okay, I'll text the Cash App out to people as well. Thank you, Jenkins family, and we are here for you. We're going to stand with you, and we're going to definitely make sure you get housing, and more importantly, we're going to get that daughter back to Jackson State because she's too close, and I believe that we're going to be victorious and making sure that happens for her. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And to everyone that's listening, from God's heart to your heart, thank you, and God bless.
Okay, thanks.
And real quick, Ellen, I would like to just say that if somebody knows how to do a GoFundMe, I think that's another way we can raise monetary funds for the family.
Yes.
If somebody can show us how, or somebody can help set up a GoFundMe page, so we can also help out with that.
All right, we'll talk about that offline. Jay Portis. Thank you. I'm going to go to Jay Portis. Then we have attorney Marissa Talbert on the line. Marissa, when you get to your turn, can you talk about the CPP a little bit as well? And then we'll go to Miriam Escobar and then Patricia Dillard. Jay?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jay Portis, and I am a BAPAC board member. And I have extensive administrative skills that I use for BAPAC. And I just would like to thank everyone for supporting BAPAC through the years. And I encourage you to continue to support. You can always go to our website and sign up for membership or renew your membership. But I just want to appreciate you and encourage you to keep fighting for social and all of the causes that our community is concerned with. And so I will relinquish my time. And again, thank you all so much.
Thank you, Jay. Jay is the best. Okay. Next, our attorney, attorney Marissa Talbert.
She's our Good afternoon, everyone. So Ms. Ellen wanted me to talk about CPP. For those of you who don't know, that is the Commission on Police Practices. And just to give a little bit of history, if anyone is unfamiliar, I am the co-chair of San Diegans for Justice, which along with many community members fought hard in the campaign to get a commission on police practices. It was a ballot measure in November 2020. The city of San Diego overwhelmingly voted in favor of the commission on police practices with almost 75%. And since then, we have been in the fight to get an ordinance passed to actually to operate the CPP. And that has been a 2-year plus fight. And so right now, if people are familiar, the CPP replaced the CRB, which was the Community Review Board. And currently, the commission is still not operable even 2 years later. The commission is in dire constraints right now because the CRB went from a 25-member board, and the commission is also supposed to be similarly situated in the number of commissioners, and it has 12 people right now. And so not only does it not have the personnel that it needs to operate, but we've been waiting on an ordinance to be implemented and passed by city council. And so right now the ordinance is in what is called meet and confer, and that is a required city process where the city is in negotiations with the police department to ensure, and this is a requirement by the Brown Act, to ensure that as city employees at the police department and police officers will not be harmed, or their employment will not change in a way that violates any laws or anything like that. So that is the meet and confer process. It is a private, closed process, and that has been going on for at least 5 months, if I'm correct, about 5 months now. And so the community has not had any updates on what's going on. There is a lack of transparency in what is happening, and that is under the guise of, oh, it's meet and confer. We can't say what's happening. San Diegans for Justice has advocated and pushed for the CPP's independent attorney, Dwayne Bennett, to be a part of the process, and we have gotten pushback on that. And so we're continuing to just fight the good fight. Ms. Ellen has been involved in discussions with the mayor's office to inform Mayor Gloria of what is going on with CPP, and to invite him and kind of urge him to step in to move this process along, because the CPP is not in a place that it should be. It should not have taken this long, in our opinion, to get this commission up and running. And so we want to make sure that Mayor Gloria is informed on what's happening, and give him the opportunity to make some change and do so quickly. So that is the update that is going on with CPP right now. I don't know, Ms. Ellen, if there was anything further that you wanted me to speak to, but I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have.
We have time for just one question. Anyone have a question? There is the importance, as this is an independent commission, and the timeliness of getting this voter up and running commission that the voters voted on up and running has been delayed. And it's very, very concerning. There has been, it's my understanding, there has been shootings under Mayor Todd Gloria's leadership. And this commission is very much needed, because the importance of that commission is to investigate, similar to what Dr. Fishman was talking about, an independent commission that investigates these police incidents. And that commission is very important to this process. So thank you, Attorney Talbert, for bringing that to our attention. Also, Attorney Talbert is BAPAC's attorney. She is also the president of the Earl B. Gilliam Bar Association. So thank you for taking your time to share with us, Marissa. I would like to go now to Patricia Dillard.
Hello, Madam Chair. Thank you so much for having me, and hello to everyone else. I always enjoy being in these meetings, and I am also a proud member. So happy to see everyone. My name is Patricia Dillard, and I'm running for La Mesa City Council. One of the biggest things that's going on right here, it's amazing how all of these topics are being covered because they virtually affect every city. And if they're not, that's amazing because it's definitely affecting the city of La Mesa as well. I did run last year, and so I have a little bit of experience in running. And I am running where there's 2 seats open with La Mesa City Council. Last year was a special election for the vacated seat of Dr. Akilah Weber, who has endorsed me and also is continuing to endorse me this year. I'm also endorsed by Dr. Shirley Weber, as well as a whole host of other endorsements. I've got Monica Montgomery Stepp and Marcus Bush and Jessica Hayes and Jennifer Mendoza. The list goes on and on. But the most important thing that I want to share with you is why I'm running for La Mesa City Council. I have been probably for the last 2.5 years. We started in January of 2020, right before the pandemic hit America, working to design ordinances for the Community Police Oversight Board. That is now in full effect, and I serve as the vice chair. I helped design those ordinances, so it is interesting to, also hear, bits and pieces about the challenges to work with the police department to try to, protect our Black and Brown community. One of the things that I've done since being a board member is help hire an independent police auditor. We call them the IPA, and just working very diligently with them to cover issues that have happened in the past in La Mesa. I'm sure maybe some of you remember or recall the peaceful protest that turned into a riot here in La Mesa in May of 2020, May 31st. Our city ended up burning. There was a lot of businesses that were burned to the ground, like Union Bank and City Bank was also burned to the ground. And there was a lot of talk about how the old police chief of police handled the situation, which was to barricade himself inside the police department and just not answer any calls or send out any directions to the police department. It was a very unfortunate situation, and there's been others. We've had an incident at Helix High School where a police officer entered onto the school grounds and ultimately took a teenage girl, picked her up and threw her on the ground twice inside the building. So we've had to deal with several incidents. There was another incident where a young African-American male was just sitting at the trolley station, and police officers approached him and began to harass him just because he was sitting there at the bench. So we've had a lot of issues that have happened here in La Mesa, not as many, fortunately, as we've had to experience with San Diego and other cities, but we're counting over here. And I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to try to address the implicit bias, the excessive force, and racism that exists within the La Mesa Police Department, because that's the only place that I can affect. But those things are important for our community as a whole, and we need to have and support officials that are working to try to mitigate these challenges that we have, especially with our Black and Brown community. We have a much smaller Black and Brown community here, but we are sorely affected still. I raised, my husband and I, we've lived in La Mesa for over 27 years now. We raised our 3 children in La Mesa, and they all attended the La Mesa schools. all the way through Helix High School. And, I've tried to give back to the community as much as I can. And that, serving as the vice chair has been one part of my participation in helping my community. Another thing that I did recently was I co-chaired with another gentleman who is a resident here in La Mesa by the name of Alan Durden. We chaired together the Juneteenth. It was called the La Mesa Juneteenth and Friends 2022 event. It took place this past June. It was our inaugural. We represented La Mesa and we represented the East area. And to our surprise, with all of the heavy work that we did, we had over 40 volunteers that assisted with us. It was a huge success. We made it onto the ABC Evening News on Sunday evening of the 19th. And we also took the front page of the Union Tribune the next day. So we did get a lot of exposure, and the event was highly focused on the Jubilee and the history. And we kind of intertwined that, not in a forceful way, but, just posting history throughout the park. It was held at MacArthur Park, which people loved. And we got nothing but positive comments and, people that are interested in volunteering for next year. And we're very excited about that event. And we feel like this is a way to help bring our community together and also educate. A lot of people are taking the vacation now or the holiday of Juneteenth and don't even have any idea, any clue as to what it's all about. So it is important for us to, maintain our education of African American history and do it in a way that is positive. So that's some of the work that I've been doing. I'm endorsed by so many people, and the main thing that I'm asking of you today is to support me. I'm going to put my information in the chat. You can make a donation to my campaign at patriciadiller.com. You can also read about me and my history with not just La Mesa, but San Diego. I ran a business here in San Diego. My husband and I, we ran a publication company and highlighted so many African Americans over the years and worked diligently within our church to also help in the smallest way to the biggest way to try to promote diversity. And I ask for you to support me, volunteer to help me door knock, whatever it is that you want to do. I do ask that you step up for me and support me and help me win this fight. I am running against two Republicans. The one Republican is Laura Lothian, who, if you haven't heard of her before, I think last year was her fourth time running before she finally did win Akila's seat. And now she has to run again because Akila's seat was just for the remainder of the term. So now she's running for 4 years along with another far right Republican, and they're being supported by Carl DeMaio, who is a shrewd political strategist and puts his fingers all over our city whenever he feels that Republicans should be winning seats. And they're trying to take these two seats, which will leave La Mesa in a dire strait of just do nothing for the city for the next 4 years. So I hate to see that happen. I do have a very good chance of winning. I have a lot of support within the La Mesa community, as well as my, high profile political leaders, but I need all the help I can get. And I hope that you will support me or ask me questions, call me, inquire, check out my website, patriciadiller.com, or go to my Facebook. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to find me. Please step out and support me. And I appreciate your consideration and listening to me today. Thank you so much. I'm Patricia Dillard, and I'm running for La Mesa City Council. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Patricia. Miriam.
Thank you.
And then because we just have a few more left here, and that's Miriam, and then it will be Rachel Evans, then Regina Evans, and did Shauna, oh yes, and Shauna Hassan.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Miriam Aguilar Escobar, and I am the State Deputy Director for the California League of United Latin American Citizens, and I'm also the co-founder for the National Education Association English Language Learner Caucus. Other things, and I am here because I care about the education for Black students, brown students. I know that we are being left behind, and we need to continue pushing hard. And we are the one that know what they need. We are the one that know how to make them to achieve. So let's keep working together. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. So good to see you.
Thank you, Elaine.
Rachel Evans?
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Rachel Evans. I'm the Youth Program Manager at Somali Family Service in San Diego, and specifically in City Heights. And I also am a longtime BAPAC member. I just updated my payment to make sure my membership is on point because I love this organization. I've been coming to meetings since I was probably middle school. I'm a Lincoln graduate, and I have a background in journalism. The team that I work with at Somali Family Service, we do community health work to make sure that African and Middle Eastern communities know about their rights to vote and their rights to become civically engaged. And so I'm working very much as a youth program manager to make sure that the youth do get registered to vote and that they learn about the American voting process and that they are included in an equitable manner. So thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you, Rachel. She's probably our youngest serving BAPAC member, starting out in middle school. Wow, that's nice. Now we're going to go to, did I give the order? Is it Shauna or Shayna? I'm sorry.
Oh, you said Regina next, and then.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think Regina's.
Okay, Regina Evans, but she's having trouble with her her speaker. And what I had asked Regina to share with you, and I'll go ahead and share it with you, is looking at voter turnout in the cycle. This is alarming, very alarming. And I'm sure our candidates on the line are already looking at the data and going and having the same reaction. But overall turnout in California in our primaries was 25%. Let that sink in. Only 25% showed up in California to vote. Now, who showed up? 28% Democrats, 2.8 million, 18% independents, 1.1 million, and 30% Republicans, 1.6. Remember now, BAPAC is a C4, so we can really start talking about this in a very strong strategic manner now. And of that, 65 in terms of age, 47% were 65 and above. Yay! 28% were 50 through 64, and 17% were 35 to 49, and 11% 18 to 34. We got a lot of work to do. 38% white, 15% Latino, 24% Asian, 25% Black. We do vote. Black folks do vote.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're tied with the Asian community at 24%, which is good. Latinos, 15%.
Mm-hmm.
So since the African Americans and the Asians are the smallest group, we still vote. And we got to work on the Latino vote to get it up. Since it's a large Miriam, we got to work on the Latino vote.
Right. We are organizing, yes.
So we need to organize in all areas.
Organizing.
Black, Asian, and Latinos. So this whole division thing that's going on in the country, California needs to be the leader in demonstrating that the three communities of color, particularly Black, Asian, and Latinos, that
this is our goal. Yes.
We have figured this out. we have figured this out, and we can be the leader in that piece. But I thought it was important that we know what we're up against, BAPAC members and the community. We got to get a larger turnout in November. So we will be strategically putting together some plans in order to voter registration piece. Someone's calling me?
Yes, it's Patricia.
Yeah, 1
I
minute.
just wanted to add, just this year, they changed the law, and now everyone who moves, whenever they move, they are automatically registered to vote unless they opt out, which is a great thing because when we're out door knocking and talking to people who don't even know that they're registered to vote, we get a chance to talk to them firsthand and encourage them to, vote and vote for, whoever's knocked on their door and asked for their vote. So it's a plus for San Diego. And I know that for me in La Mesa, it's a great plus. So, whenever someone moves, now they're on the list and that's another person that can vote for you.
Right. And another point Regina is making is California has made it the easiest to vote, even what Patricia just said, but we're still not voting. So either you have voter oppression over here, or you got California is making it easier to vote, but the performance we're getting the same outcome. So we got to figure this out definitely, and we're committed though to getting the Black vote out. That's where BAPAC's commitment is. I'm going to turn it over to our last. Is it Shauna or Shayna? I want to get her.
Shayna.
Shayna. Okay, I can go with that. Shayna.
Yes.
Okay, so Shayna, I'm going to turn it over to you. You're our last speaker, unless someone else came online and I'm not aware of, but you're our last speaker, Shayna. And I have a few more comments to make, and we're done.
All right. And cut me off if I go too long. I'm really happy to be with all of you. And Ellen was grateful for the invitation. I remember when you and I sat down, I think over a year ago. So I was chair of the city's Human Relations Commission. And of course, Miss Ellen chairs the county's commission. And so, over a year ago, talked about how we could collaborate. And I will tell you about my candidacy for San Diego Unified School Board, but I did want to just mention for those of you talking about the Commission on Police Practices offline, I would love to talk about how through the city's Human Relations Commission, which I serve on, we can partner to really prioritize this from the city's perspective. So I'll put my contact information in the chat, and did want to say hello to Elise, who I am involved in Women Give with. And I saw Spichelle, who I worked with at Jewish Family Service and who does Breaking Down Barriers. So great to be amongst so many friends. And as someone really who's dedicated my life, both professionally and in a volunteer capacity, to strengthening our community and specifically improving the lives of children and family, it's really great to be with a group of people who understand the value, I think, of giving of yourselves to help others. And I know you are changing the world, one person, one family, one child at a time. We just heard it with the family who so horrifically experienced the fire at their home. I'm Shayna Hazen. I'm running for San Diego Unified School Board in District B. I'm not running against Cody. We are collaborators, partners, working to improve our schools together. My district includes Tierra Santa, Serra Mesa, Kearney Mesa, Mission Valley, Allied Gardens, and Del Cerro. And I'm running for school board for one simple reason, and it's because I believe in the limitless potential of every single child, period, every child. And as I meet with students and families and parents across our district and dig into achievement data, I see far too many kids who aren't meeting their potential, and far too many places where our district is simply falling short. And I know we can do better for our kids. I'm a fourth generation San Diego Unified grad. I was actually one of the first graduating classes at Scripps Ranch High School. I'm a former public school teacher, longtime senior nonprofit executive, and most importantly, I think, the mom of a third grader in our public schools. Today, our school board has no members with kids in our schools. And I understand the issues families are facing today. and frankly, the unique challenges we've all experienced during the pandemic, because I live them every single day as the mom of a 4 and 9-year-old. And I want to make sure that parents and community members have a seat at the table. As a mom, rather than opting out of my neighborhood school, I actually leaned way in, and as folks were choicing out, I leaned in and helped to organize parents, teachers, community members to transform our once struggling Title I school, significantly boost enrollment, which we've seen steadily declining district-wide, help launch our school foundation, where I served as president for many years, and also serve on our school site council. During my conversations with students, families, educators, what I hear consistently, and this may resonate with you, is that nobody is happy about the district's communications. Nobody feels like their input is being sought or like the district is being transparent. And everyone feels like an afterthought when important decisions are made. And frankly, I think this has created an environment of distrust and the perception that the district isn't forthcoming with data about student learning and achievement, or how well we're providing services for students with special needs. And I think if you were following the news, we recently saw this play out with Patrick Henry High School, where the principal acted unilaterally to eliminate advanced classes. And the district didn't seek parent input. It didn't speak to parents until those parents went to the media, and hundreds of students protested. And experiences like this are one of my top priorities is to improve communications and transparency within the district. We have to make it easy for stakeholders and the public to access the information they need and share what they want. I've served in leadership roles at large organizations, overseeing communications plans and activities. And I know, our district isn't going to get it right every single time, but I think what we can get right is the thoughtfulness with which we prepare for and communicate with stakeholders. And I think this is the key: openly and honestly admit when things haven't gone according to plan, and then seek input to make it better. I think we have this track record of pretending like everything is perfect when it's not. And we have to actually say that out loud, because we can't solve a problem that we actually don't admit to having. I believe in my heart in the life-changing power of an education that addresses students' academic and their social emotional needs. And I think, while our schools provided me with a strong foundation, what we know is that today about half of our district students, and particularly Black and Brown students, aren't meeting grade level standards. And COVID has only exacerbated long-standing achievement gaps and left many kids and families reeling from exposure to illness, a pervasive sense of fear, economic instability, and the list goes on and on and on. And I think, as Cody alluded to, really left unaddressed, these COVID-related learning gaps will only translate into a wider achievement gap and longer-term challenges. And then to make things worse, we've seen significant staffing shortages as well. And despite all of these challenges, and there are many, I'm still optimistic about what we can achieve with clear goals and thoughtful plans that are centered around kids and families. And that's why, and I think, Ms. Ellen, I mentioned this to you when we met, one of my top priorities is utilizing meaningful data and research-informed practices to really guide our investments, develop success metrics, and implement systems of accountability, right? We know what works. Ellen told me about amazing work that is happening at Gompers that has really transformed outcomes for kids. These aren't impossible problems to solve. We know what to do. So let's take what works and actually do it consistently, systematically, right? And so that means that if we know having access to rigorous curriculum, like making sure every high school student has access to calculus, we can't be eliminating that at certain schools in certain communities, right? It's simple, but we have to actually take what works and do it consistently. And I am committed to doing that. I know I've taken up a lot of time. I have so much more to tell you, but I know you have parting words, Ellen. I would just say I am here to work with you, to collaborate with you, to partner with you. So I'll put my information in the chat. I'd love to speak about all of the work each of you are doing and how we can work together. I'm working hard to win in November. If you have a few hours are interested in volunteering or knocking doors with me, I would really just be so grateful for your support. So again, thank you for all the work you're doing, and hope I can count on your support moving forward.
Thank you, Shayna, for being here.
Yeah.
I wanted to just end, because we're right 5 minutes to 2. I wanted to end on a couple of comments. Does someone have, yes?
Alice thinking, Ali.
Yeah, oh, hi, it's Elise. I had a quick comment.
Oh, go ahead, Elise.
Yes, I do. Oh, yes. I wanted to remind us that when we start talking about people voting, that this whole country, Republicans are running to be Secretary of States throughout this country in order that people who look like us will not vote. The reason that we are lucky here in California, and when we start strategizing for people to vote, things that we can use, we have to remember that Dr. Shirley Weber is our Secretary of State. And the reason that people now, when they move to vote, is because of Dr. Shirley Weber. So I am a state delegate for Dr. Weber. You know, Ellen and I, we used to be assembly delegates. So when we start our strategy, it's important for us to let her know what we're doing so that we can get the full support of the state. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Elise.
That's it.
Okay, a couple of other comments, and then we're going to close out with a moment of prayer or silence for our own Dr. Willie Morrow, and also our own Dr. Tambuzi that left us earth this week. I want to remind you, we're going to do more on this comment on this subject, boards and commissions. I think the underlining theme today you've heard is the importance of a Black voice on boards and commissions. We'll be bringing Chida Darby with Warren Darby back, who's the who is the leader of boards and commissions for the city, and we'll be bringing the boards and commissions leader for the county back as well. I serve as chair of a commission, the Human Relations Commission, as Darwin. We're in need of board members, but that's where we can definitely make a difference. As Shayna talked about her work with the city boards and commissions, that's where our voices can really make a difference. So we're going to bring those two leaders in to talk more about vacancies. I think folks like Abina has been approached by council member, one of her council member, to serve on. Dr. Brenda Campbell just recently resigned from the consolidated budget, whatever that is, after her term. She's up in November. She's already let me know that's a vacancy. That's a very important board. So we will be working with Monica Montgomery Stepp's office to replace someone there on that very important board. And I think Clerb that Dr. Fishman just mentioned has vacancies as well. So there's a lot going on, and we're going to become much more intentional of ensuring we place the Black voices on those commissions and boards. I'm going to just warn all the candidates that are on the line today and those who are listening that BAPAC during our forums, again, we're going to come real harder than we've done in the past. There are the data is going to speak loud and clear about the plight of Black folks in San Diego in all areas. So we're going to be upping our game, upping our questions, doing more debate, but it will be very, very much more data driven based on the data is saying about the plight of African Americans in San Diego as well. So we want to just put the warning out. You've done well in the past, but we've got to improve outcomes for Black people in San Diego in all areas as well. Important also that if there are nonprofits on the call and BAPAC members, please be mindful of those RFPs that are coming out from the county. I believe Elizabeth may be gone now. RFPs that are coming out, requests for work that are also available. Go on BuyNet, BUYNET.com. You can see all the different RFPs. There's a lot of work out there that's associated with a lot of money, where you can take advantage of, and if you have the heart and passion to help the community, particularly the county of San Diego. Dr. Shelley, or she's a postdoc, was on the line, but she had to leave because I think she's participating in the Pride Parade. A lot of noise in the background, but she did put information in the chat. We have a mental health crisis in the Black community based on the data. We'll be bringing her back to also talk about how we can overcome and improve the outcomes in the mental health area as well. With that said, I'm just going to close the meeting. If we just have a moment of silence for the passing of two great leaders in the Black community that we lost in the last couple of weeks. That's Dr. Willie Morrow, who is the godfather of Black business in San Diego, and our own Tambuzi. If we could just hold on for a minute, for 1 minute of silence. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks for coming out, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.